I feel remiss that in honor of community poetry last month I wasn't able to do enough reading time to justify the space. So I'm starting a little bit early in honor of the usual first Wednesdays of the month community poetry, hosted by Tom. I thought I would read poems from select New Scars Publications books, including the CC&D January to April 2024 issue collection book titled Unfinished Business. Unfinished Business. And I was going to share just two poems with you from this book. And this first one I would like to share is titled Vaccinated from What Happens in Wuhan. How do you think lethal infectious diseases are spread anyway? Seminal fluids, blood transfusions, or not washing your hands? Did you think you were safe vacationing on a cruise ship? Silly you. But you forgot that we're now in this global economy, and what happens in Wuhan doesn't necessarily stay in Wuhan. After thousands recently died from a recently discovered virus, it's discovered this virus escaped from a research lab in China. Not Russia, not the Middle East, not a place where they now say the Great Wall, but they're now a place that they say that the Great Wall is only there for show. But is it really? For the only known biolab in China, in Wuhan, recently reissued a statement on cleanliness for the country to avoid disease, released just after this most recent mass epidemic was fully discovered. And you'd think a lab would know how to be clean. But that doesn't mean that their well-paid researchers wouldn't illegally make an extra buck. Or would that be many extra yuan? That doesn't mean these researchers wouldn't sell these laboratory animals still alive for extra cash. Because one Beijing researcher said they once sold live monkeys and rats for the equivalent of over $1 million US. And yes, those precious disease-ridden animals made their way into people's stomachs, and maybe eventually to people working on your cruise ships. And you thought you were safe. Silly you. You should know better. You thought that if you didn't swallow 3 gallons of someone's saliva, you'd remain safe from contracting those infectious diseases. You've been vaccinated. You've even gone so far as to wash your hands. How noble of you. And you thought that was enough. But as I said, this global economy means it's almost like we're all sharing one giant bed together. We just didn't realize how messy that bed could really be. How messy, indeed. It was a section in this book that was titled, well, I'll tell you what, that was from a performance art section, but you don't need to hear that because you can always check it out for the actual book online. Scars Publications, scars.tv/CCD or Scars.tv and search for Unfinished Business. This last poem I was going to share with you is from this book that is titled From Looking for a Worthy Adversary. It was actually written on the 27th of March. It was edited on that date for World Theater Day. All this time, I've been playing a part, an actress on a stage, spouting the lines on cue. But that role was getting tiresome, and those stage lights still came on night after night, and I still had to play my part. Until my night off, I saw your performance at the theater down the street. And you know, your protagonist was doing what I was doing, right down to faking it with people who don't matter, right down to going home and still feeling empty. Watching your show, I like to see the boiling emotion underneath that no one else could see, because only I had the knowledge to know what that emotion really means. So I'm beginning to wonder if we can get together and write our own play. It would be a masterful performance, and as the curtain would close, we'd hold each other's hands and walk off the stage, and the audience would know there was a happy ending. So, now when I walk out onto the set, and there you stand in front, stage left, I wait for my cue to make my move. None of the rest of the scene matters to me. Maybe they'd like our little play. Maybe they wouldn't. Who really cares? Because now my performance of a lifetime is made, and I stand here like a statue and wait for the applause. And as I wait for the reviews on the performance I was made for, I know what they're going to say, because none of that matters anymore. Because I know what you are going to say, because it's everything I want to say. So, I will wait for you to come on stage again for our next wonderful performance, where we have our happy ending. It's fun to read derivations of that poem, because parts of that poem is something I actually read on my wedding day. And there you stand in front, stage left. Anywho, but those are two poems from the CC&D January to April 2022 issue collection, book titled Unfinished Business. These are bonus readings during what would normally be the community poetry open mic space in North Austin, which is why I'm near a library and lots of books. And I would always share books from readings from Scars Publications books. I'm going to do a few more for you. Stock up on your poetry reading for the next 2 hours. And I hope everyone is remaining safe. I hope everybody's starting to get out in public again and things are starting to get back to normal. And I look forward to talking to each and every one of you very, very soon. Thank you so very much. Thank you.